told Graham that I've been in business for 7 years. I told you all that. But it's actually only just dawned on me that I'm actually in business, because I've always kind of looked at it as Mark's business. So about 20 years ago, Mark worked for a multi-million-dollar pest control company in Sydney, and he ended up being a shareholder in that business. And he worked with a number of very highly skilled people, and they did pest control for a lot of big companies that you'd know, like Coles and Kellogg's. They had contracts with councils and councils and what else? Yeah, you know, basically big deals that they did statewide commercial pest control for. So when we moved to Newcastle, Mark decided to start his own business, and two of those men decided that they wanted to get in contact with Mark and see if they could relocate to Newcastle and help him with his venture. So that's the kind of relationship that he had as a manager with his team. So two of the guys that we actually send out on the road were supervisors in a multi-million-dollar pest control company. So that's very humbling for us to have men like that working for us. So the kind of pest control that you're getting, it's not just, you know, some people think pest controllers just get into pest control because they didn't have anything else to do, or they're in between jobs. So I might just do a little bit of pest control, and they pick up a license, and you can do that fairly quickly these days, fairly easily. I know, chatting with Matt, he was saying in his field it's very similar. There's a lot of cowboys out there, but we're not competing with those people, are we, Matt? We're professionals, and I think that if there's one misconception I'd like to just dispel today, it's the misconception that pest controllers are kind of like in between jobs, or they're not professional, because we look at pest control more like a science, if you like. These guys have studied. Graham Baker, who works for us as our technical manager, is actually a insect biologist. He's been to university. He identifies pests for councils, for governments, for housing. We're the experts. We get called in when people don't know where else to go. So we get called in for advice and information, and we're happy to do that. Okay, for the next few minutes, I just thought I might talk to you a bit more about pest control in general. So pest control is not just eradication of pests. Pest control has moved now more to like maintenance. So we're not just trying to eradicate pests, we're trying to help people to keep their environment free of pests, so because of the disease carried by them. So for years and years historically, there's been things like the bubonic plague and things where lots and lots of people have died because of the disease carried by pests. But in our affluent society, we don't really appreciate that. We don't really see that pest control is something that is life-changing. It saves lives. It's like immunisation. It's something that you really do need in our society. Okay, might be a good time to go to some notes, I think. Any questions? Let's just put a question right out there in the middle. Wayne, you had a question.
Well, have you ever done pest control on an airplane?
On an airplane?
Yeah.
Pest control on an airplane? No.
Because an airplane was grounded the other day overseas because there was a rat on the plane, and they had to get rid of it because she chewed.
Fantastic. I'll get Mark onto that.
That could be an opening there.
Yes.
You do all the pest control of Qantas airplanes.
Fantastic. I personally haven't done any pest control at all, and I haven't done any pest control on a plane, but that's a good lead. Thank you.
I'll write that down.
Yeah, I'll write that. Yeah, write that down as a lead.
I know a pilot for Jetstar. I don't know if that'll get you in.
Write it down, put it in the box. I think that's good.
What's the craziest place you've done pest control?
Craziest place.
As in, like, you would never think to do pest control.
Oh. Oh, that's a hard question. Yeah, I have got some funny little stories. Sometimes the boys send us back photos, and I was telling Kate this morning. Once I got a photo of a bookcase, and it was complete. The books were completely eaten out by termites, and my technician wrote, "I don't think this guy's been reading much." How do you just? Yeah. They were consuming a lot of information. Oh dear. I've got a little quote. I'm just going through these cards that I've had in my system. I've got a little quote by Winston Churchill that might be a good time to bring it up. Just because I told Graham that my not that I think I'm successful, but my key to success is not being afraid to fail. And Winston Churchill once said, "Success is the ability to go from one failure to another with no loss of enthusiasm." So I'll just stick with that for a minute. For the last few minutes of my time with you, I just thought I might share a little bit about what we've actually benefited out of BNI for the last 18 months or 14 months that we've been involved. So apart from just meeting a group of really amazing people, we've had uniforms from Melody for our boys and our girls. And so I think this is all helping just with us being a more professional company and having a bigger profile in Newcastle, because as I said, that's where we've come from and that's what we're trying to establish here. Mary Kay from Jacqueline, of course, I always look fabulous, so that helps a lot. We've had a cruise with Gina. We've got life insurance with Wayne. We're working with Mike. we're working with Mike to refinance because the banks are sucking the life out of us. So Mike's putting his best foot forward there for us and to try and get some blood back out of the banks. Kylie's been helping with us with marketing strategies and just, as I said last week, personally as a businesswoman, trying to help me to take myself more seriously. We've had electrical with Jordan, chiropractic over and over, and looking forward to having a new relationship with Shah in that area. Ben. Thank you, Ben, for everything that you do for us. And he's been out giving us quotes. He's put doors on for us. We have whole little projects set aside for him when he ever finishes or gets free from Aria Kitchens. We've had chocolate-coated strawberries from Nairi, which are just yum. And I've given those as gifts to my staff. I've got leads in my mind all the time for you, Bradley, and just appreciating that. Joe's been and looked over our books. So isn't that amazing? That's quite amazing in 14 months. Trina's come and looked at businesses for us to purchase. Mark's had meetings with Graham about our business and our go ahead and our forward plans. So I just think that's amazing. So I've got another quote for you, which is one from Ivan Meisner. It's off the BNI website. It says, "Networking is more about farming than it is about hunting. It's about cultivating relationships." And I really liked that because I was saying to Kate this morning, I really like the idea of networking in a very organic way, so that it's real and authentic. And when we're referring each other, people know that we believe in each other. Yeah. Any questions? Yes, Jonathan. Mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
is that
Oh.
something you guys can deal with? Or?
Yeah, it is. That's actually that probably answers Jacqueline's question too, because Mark actually went to Nauru, to the asylum island and the detention centre, and he did 2 weeks of mosquito control over there. But that's on a very large scale. So literally with a truck with chemical coming out the side of it, going through the bush, the jungle.
And how does that affect like waterways and stuff? Because I know my husband works at Newcastle Uni, and the
Yeah.
mosquito problem is so bad there that there's some areas that they go to do maintenance
Yeah.
and they cover up, but they still have limited time, and they actually have to leave the plant room because there's so many mosquitoes.
There is actually,
Like,
yeah.
because it's near waterways. How does that work? Yeah.
Yeah. that, tell him to call my husband because
Yeah.
they
summer
really
they're
do.
like,
Yeah,
"Oh."
I know. We really need to get in touch with the council and do something about that.
Should you do that before the mosquito season starts, or when
Are
they
you, just on a domestic level?
Yeah.
Yeah, on a domestic level, there's things that you can get. There's traps that you can get where they actually, because the best thing you can do is break their breeding cycle, obviously. So we used to sell when we were in Sydney. We used to sell these little traps that had like a liquid in the bottom, a pool, an attracting light, and the pool of liquid. It emulates the sweat on your skin, which is what they attract to. Because actually, mosquitoes hate me, so I don't sweat very much except when I'm extremely nervous.
Oh my God, there's a mosquito right now.
But yeah, so you're basically, you're trying to attract them. So you hang those little units under trees and things. Yeah. So you would set something like that up, round this time of year and round twilight. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate you bearing with me.